bit about Colorado State. Of course, the Rams, the rumors this week are that they are expected to potentially accept an invitation to the AAC, the American Athletic Conference, which, of course, is losing some of its best teams to the Big 12. And so that's kind of, I don't want to say a distraction for the players, but certainly a storyline nationally. We talked to Kevin Lytle of the Coloradoan during our live segment on Iowa at the Voice of College Football this week on YouTube. And he talked about just the surprise last week was for the Rams with taking down a Toledo team that, let's remember, Toledo nearly beat Notre Dame the week prior, and Colorado State dominated Toledo. Now, a bit of a letdown, maybe, from the Notre Dame game, but they didn't win that Notre Dame game, so you wonder how much of a letdown there could have been. And again, Colorado State was really good. McBride at tight end, one of the best in the business. Kirk Ferentz talked about him this week. He's got, I think, like 300, let me look up the numbers here, like 338 yards. This is a tight end through 3 games. Yeah, McBride's got 339 yards on 30 catches. All right, now put that in perspective. Sam LaPorta has been Iowa's best receiver as far as numbers, and it's not even close. He's got 169 total yards, which is, if I'm doing my math right, under half of what McBride has done. Now, again, he's played against an FCS team in South Dakota State. They played in a bottom-tier SEC school in Vanderbilt, lost both of those games, and then played a good MAC team in Toledo. He's going to be a handful, but Justin Jacobs, we talked about him earlier. I think we're going to see more and more of Justin, and I don't want to say less and less of Dane Belton, but we've seen Dane get burned a couple of times in pass coverage against bigger receivers and tight ends. Justin might be the solution there. Sam LaPorta is going to have an opportunity to have a big game. We see Spencer continuing to develop every week. It's that connection between him and LaPorta seems to strengthen itself. Now, of course, fans are wanting Spencer to develop that chemistry with other receivers. I get it, but we should expect a big game out of Sam. The run game's got to get better. It was good last week. It's got to stay more consistent. Kyler Schott, again, provides some stability on the inside. If Iowa can run for at least 150 yards this weekend, I mean, I'd love to see 200 plus. If they can run for at least 150, they should be fine. Obviously, this is a game Iowa should win. But again, if Iowa's offense can't take a step, and again, they've got Maryland on a short prep week next Friday. If they can't take a step in this game offensively, I'm going to be very nervous heading into the next game. And again, they could very well lose to somebody. If you're not clicking offensively and you're not consistently putting points on the board, at some point, there's a good chance you're going to lose to somebody who you probably shouldn't lose to. Let's hope it's not this week against the Rams. I don't think it will be. My prediction for score on Saturday, I've got Iowa 38, Colorado State 17. I think they score some points against Iowa. McBride, again, at tight end is a mismatch, I think. For the most part, we'll see how Phil Parker schemes things up against him. Centeo's a guy who can scramble at quarterback. Certainly more mobile than Spencer Petras. I do think Iowa's offensive line will be too much for a solid front for Colorado State. And let's just hope we see some passes downfield, at least attempts. Spencer's got to be given the opportunity. I know coaches are probably not seeing much different than what we're seeing in games as far as his ability to see the field and be able to make deep throws, but he's got to at least be given some plays down the field because they're not going to be able to accomplish the goals all fans want them to accomplish this season without the ability to get that ball down the field, whether it be Charlie Jones, Tyrone Tracy, could it be an Arlen Bruce or Keegan Johnson? Could they emerge? They played a little bit more this past week. Each caught a pass, I believe. So storylines this weekend, certainly. And again, Iowa, Colorado State, 2:30 p.m., Fox Sports 1. This Saturday, of course, we'll be here. We'll be over at Iowa at the Voice of College Football and Big Ten at the Voice of College Football. Those are the two channels we'll be post-gaming live on Saturday. Again, Iowa at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. Big Ten at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. We'll be joined by former Iowa coach Don Patterson, who hops on with us every single week to talk about the games, and will be enjoyable. Iowa looking to move to 4-0 on the season.